Hey YouTubers! Oh, hold on. Well, now that's more like it. I gotta say, what a day. And honestly, what an episode of 11:53 to Odessa. I mean, what a way to just be. It is perfectly fit for the fall finale. It is truly amazing what the original cast of Heroes and the new cast of Heroes Reborn, what the writers did, what Tim Kring is doing. Just amazing. Just truly amazing. Now, for those of you YouTubers out there, and as you all probably know, the fall finale of Heroes Reborn has been aired. And we're not going to be seeing it for quite a while. Till January 9th, I believe. Let me just check. I'm pretty sure it's January 29th or... Nope, January 7th. Sorry about that. Anyway, since we're almost near the end of Heroes Reborn, of the 13 to 15 episode miniseries, I thought I'd do everybody a treat. Yep, it's the 13 episode series, and currently episode 10 aired. All there is just the next episode titled Hero Truther, and then 2 more episodes after that, and then by Heroes Reborn. But since we're down to the last 3 episodes of Heroes Reborn, I thought I'd do everybody a treat and just do a little recap of Heroes Reborn. So what exactly is Heroes Reborn? Heroes Reborn is a 13-episode mini-series that takes place a few years after the original Heroes series. Now, as you know with the Heroes series, it focuses on the superhero genre, superhuman abilities, and also other stuff like time travel and such. And that was one of the main deals about Heroes, time travel. And in one of the futures, there was an exposure future, there was an outbreak future, and of course there just was a regular future. One of those futures came true when on the last episode of the original Heroes series, Claire Bennett, played by Hayden Petinier, jumped off of the Ferris wheel and revealed her rapid cellular regeneration to the world. Now, between Heroes and Heroes Reborn, the exposure future, it was chosen. The exposure future is in which the evolved humans are suddenly revealed to the world. When Claire Bennett jumped off that Ferris wheel, many more Evos started following. And as of course, with new and unusual stuff, some like them, and some don't. After Claire jumped off the Ferris wheel, many characters reacted to it. After Claire jumped the Ferris wheel, Peter Petrelli, according to the wiki, started the Petrelli movement, and essentially became an underground railroad, with Peter protecting evolved humans from those who would persecute them. Micah would eventually regroup with his old buds, his old teammates, and eventually what was originally Rebel is now Hero Truther, who works as an underground railroad movement that moves Evos to secure places, like the Underground Railroad, as I earlier said. But one relationship just went literally tumbling down the rocks, and that was Claire's relationship with her father, Noah Bennett, the man with the horn-rimmed glasses. He was so mad and frustrated at her. She just took off, and after many years they decided to get together again. So basically, here comes Heroes Reborn, the first episode. And me, I was so excited when Heroes Reborn was coming to the screens. I was so happy that, like, who would I see? Would I see the old cast? I mean, obviously there was going to be a new cast, but who amongst the old cast would I see? Now, of course, it starts off. It's like with the mutants in the Marvel universe. They try to find their place. Of course, the Evos are scared of their powers. There are some who want to help them, and some don't. Now, the first episode of Heroes Reborn, there is a peace summit, coincidentally, in Odessa, Texas, where this whole shenanigan started. Now, the series takes place officially 1 year after the summit blew up by mysterious circumstances. The government blames those with extraordinary abilities, called evolved humans, or EVOs for short. It forces the EVOs into hiding as they're hunted down and killed. Two such people are Luke and Joanne Collins, who are seeking revenge for the son that they lost during the Odessa bombing. Now, Noah Bennett, after the summit, is also hiding, but he can't quite remember what happened during the summit. Noah is in hiding, but he's found by Quentin Frady, a conspiracy theorist who tries to show him the truth behind the Odessa tragedy. Now, of course, Noah rebooks his efforts. He doesn't want any part with EVOs whatsoever after the daughter that he lost. He doesn't even know what happened to Claire. Now, on June 13th in Odessa, Primatech, the leaders in EVO research, are hosting a peace summit for EVOs and humans to come together when it's bombed. Old hero favorite Mohinder Suresh is blamed for the bombing, and 1 year after that, people with powers are hunted down, believing to be too dangerous and untrustworthy, kind of like the mutants in the Marvel universe. Now, we're introduced to a new character called Tommy Clark, who has teleportation abilities. He just wants to get by with his life, meet the girl, get a good life. He barely escapes an anonymous meeting for EVOs that turns into a slaughter. Noah is working as a car salesman named Ted Barnes when he finds out that the memory of the summit bombing was tampered with. And we're also introduced to a new character, Carlos Gutierrez, who finds out that his brother was fighting crime as a masked vigilante with super strength in Los Angeles. Carlos is faced with tough responsibilities after his brother dies, such as looking after his nephew, who has the power of intangibility, able to phase through objects. And in Tokyo, a girl named Miko finds a sword in her father's study that sends her into a video game world to save him. Sorry. Eventually, Noah finds Quentin, or Quentin finds Noah again, and they decide to work together to figure out exactly what happened during the summit. Eventually, Quentin reveals that the reason he's with Noah, he wants to find out what happened on that summit day, is because of his sister, Phoebe. If you do not know Quentin and Phoebe Frady, you need to see the prequel series, Dark Matters. It details the life of Phoebe and Quentin. Phoebe revealing herself to be an Evo to her brother, who is ecstatic that he has an Evo in the family. Phoebe has the ability to control shadows, aka Umbra Kinesis. For a full rundown on what Umbra Kinesis is, the capabilities, the associations, other names, a short summary of what Umbra Kinesis can do, please go to the Superpower Wiki website, www.superpowerwiki.com. It's a really great place. I frequent there a lot for ideas. Anyway, we're introduced to Joanne and Luke Collins, who are vigilantes who are hunting Evos, believing that they can fill in that void when their son died. Now Tommy uses his powers to save himself and his friend Emily from Joanne and Luke Collins, but nearly gets himself caught unless he does a favor. Ren finds the game Evernow running on Miko's computer and teams up with her to rescue her dad. Noah returns to Primatech's original location in Odessa with Quentin Frady. Now, Quentin used to work for Renatus. Renatus is this big global company that secretly took over what Primatech started, bagging and tagging evolved humans. Now, going through Oscar's notes, Carlos stumbles upon Oscar's Underground Railroad, and he eventually gets drawn into it, eventually wearing his brother's El Vengador costume. When Luke and Joanne find themselves teleported into Tommy's old room at level 5 of Primatech, they break out, killing everyone at the company and taking the files with every known Evo's location. And also in the first episode, after Noah tries to regain his memory, he gets into contact with his old friend Renee, who we know as the Haitian. Now, the Haitian tries to kill Noah, but Noah is forced to kill Renee, with Renee stating that if Noah should come back to him, well, Noah has to kill Renee. But he doesn't know why he had his memory erased. In the third episode, we're introduced to Malina, a blonde, long-haired girl who's been raised in Alaska with her protector, Farah, who has the power of invisibility. Now, yes, Farah has invisibility, but Malina probably has the most dangerous, most powerful ability of all. The ability to control all of Earth's elements. Essentially, she's Mother Nature. Now, she knows exactly what's coming. As the wiki states, it's an eye in the sky. Like all this gas and sort of coming together in a spiral. That it's coming faster than they thought, and that Melina can't hold it back for much longer. Meanwhile, in the second episode, we were introduced to a short-haired, redhead, short-haired girl who actually turns out to be Molly Walker. Now that surprised me. Now, of course, as you guys remember, Molly has the ability to find anybody in the world. And since Renatus knows about Molly, that makes her deeply, deeply coveted. Now, in the third episode, Under the Mask, Molly Walker has been captured by Renatus. In Yamagato Tower, Miko is captured by a man named Harris. Now, the sword that Miko found in her father's study is actually the sword of the Master of Time and Space, Hiro Nakamura. At a hospital, when Noah and Quentin are trying to find out what happened during the summit, Noah finds himself standing over Claire's body, and he finds out that several time frames have been messed with, and he comes to the conclusion that Hiro Nakamura had something to do with it. Now, Joanne is eager to chase down all the new leads in the Primatech files, but Luke is coming into a startling revelation of his own when he discovers that he is an Evo with the ability to generate light, heat, and small electromagnetic sparks. Now, when we get back to Miko and Harris, Miko escapes with Ren, who comes together. Miko chops off Harris's hand. Harris is revealed to be an Evo himself with the ability of cloning. Now, Tommy's mom finds out that a man has been secretly protecting him. And at the end of the episode, we're introduced to Erica Craven, the CEO of Renatus. She using Molly Walker's ability, has somehow hooked her brain into a computer to create Epic, a technology that can find any Evo in the entire world. When Tommy and his mom end up in a car crash in the next episode, The Needs of the Many, Tommy teleports her to a hospital before passing out. Now, Taylor Cravid, Erica's daughter, she's really getting tired of the lies that her mother's been spewing out to her. So Taylor teams up with Noah and Quentin. Melina and her invisible companion Farah leave the Arctic Circle as they try to fulfill their own destiny. When Luke reveals his powers to Joanne and burns the list of Evos, she refuses to shoot him as she is his wife, but she walks away from what's left of their marriage. Now, during the car crash, Tommy's mom is significantly injured, and Tommy takes a blood test to see if he is compatible. He discovers that he is not compatible, well, meaning that he was adopted, and also it brings federal agents rushing to him. And meanwhile, where we find Carlos, his nephew Jose, and his friend Father Mauricio, I don't know how to spell his name, say his name, sorry. Both Evos are kidnapped. Now the father has the ability of smoke transformation. In Renatus, Noah finds Molly, and in a room filled with Evos filled to machines. We're given a little reference to Sylar, when their brains are hooked up to machines, and that they can't stop their powers from being harnessed. Now, the most shocking part of the episode is this spoiler right here. Molly takes Noah's gun and says that this was all to protect them. And what she did next, well, she did what she had to do, but I was sorry to see her go. In an effort to make sure that her power could never be exploited again, she shot herself in the head. In the next episode, Ren gathers a group of Evernow fans, Aeronautics, so that Miko can enter the building and retrieve the sword and free her father. Meanwhile, Tommy is registered as an Evo and injected with a tracking device, and he also learns that he was adopted. Still inside Renatus, Noah and Quentin and Taylor find evidence that the company is preparing for an extinction level event. One of Harris's clones finds Farah in Canada. Melina tries to fight off the guards, eventually succeeds, but they come across an Evo who can manipulate shadows, who is eventually revealed to be Phoebe Frady, whose role was reprised by the original character who played her in the series Dark Matters. Luke finally faces the reality of his son's death in the attack 1 year ago when Luke returns home. Noah and Quentin are captured by Harris. Miko bursts in, taking back the sword and giving time to escape. The man who was protecting Tommy appears. His real name is actually Caspar Abraham, with the ability of memory storage, and tells him that Tommy's going to save the world. And at the end of the episode, it is revealed that Renatus scientists are saying that there is less than a week before solar radiation devastates the Earth. In episode 6, Game Over, Carlos learns about a place that is keeping the Evos, yet for some reason they don't want to leave. It's like a mansion and they're mind controlled. Miko and Ren return to Evernow when she learns that it's her quest to save the Master of Time and Space, who is Hiro Nakamura. Tommy runs away to Paris with Emily, but learns that nowhere is safe when he gets on some guards' bad sides when he wants to see the Eiffel Tower. Miko meets Noah and Quentin in Renatus, and they discover that Renatus has harnessed Hiro's power to send supplies to Earth after destruction into the future. Since he has mastery over time and space, Renatus imprisoned Hiro in a place that is beyond time and space, that can't be reached by normal means. So, they imprisoned Hiro Nakamura in the video game Evernow. They learn that Miko is only a program that will disappear when Hiro is rescued. Miko eventually comes to terms with her destiny, and eventually frees Hiro Nakamura from the Evernow game. While they're in Renatus, Quinta confronts the girl who can manipulate shadows and somehow drain Evos of their abilities. It is revealed to be Phoebe, who later kills him to protect Erica's mission. Now, Hiro and Noah eventually reunite, and Noah begs Hiro to take him back to the Odessa summit on June 13th to find out what happened and change the future. Hiro doesn't really like the idea, but he eventually relents, saying that Erica Krav had bended time for her own purposes, so he agrees to take Noah back in time. Taylor sends a message to Hero Truther, revealing that Renatus has kidnapped Evos. Melina, while being separated from her protector, opens an envelope given to her by Farah, and the envelope contains a picture of Tommy, meaning that she is supposed to find that person. And Melina comes across Luke, who tries to commit suicide, but Melina saves his life. Since Melina saved Luke's life, he feels an obligation toward her and agrees to help find Tommy. Emily helps Tommy take out his Evo tracking chip, and they kiss. In episodes 7 and 8, we are introduced to what happened on June 13th. In the beginning, Mohinder Suresh meets with Angela Petrelli. Both are reprised by their original characters. Angela tells him that she knows of a coming disaster and the Evos who can stop it. She told Erica that Erica intends to save only people that she chooses, which is completely unfair. Hachiro Otomo of a company traps present Hero from then on June 13th inside Evernow and takes his sword. Future Hero and future Noah witness present Noah get taken away. Angela takes future Noah, who she doesn't realize. She thinks that future Noah is actually the present Noah in June 13th. Angela takes future Noah to Claire in surgery, where it is revealed that she died in childbirth. Now, Mohinder gives his research to Molly before Harrison takes him to the site of the bombing that will occur. And now, Hero rescues Mohinder and they try to stop Harris, but unfortunately, Hero discovers that any attempt to stop the bombing will result in a worse future. So that means that the bombing was meant to happen. That it had to happen. Past Noah is rescued by Casper, while future Noah confirms Claire's death. Shortly after the bombing, shortly before the bombing, Phoebe Frady releases a cloud of darkness that neutralizes all the Evo's abilities so that they can't do anything, covers the sky in darkness, and causes an eclipse. After the explosions, Luke and Joanne are separated from their son, and they eventually come up with a plan to try to save the future.